For Mercedes, the 2024 season will be a very important one. The team has opted to go in a completely different direction with their car after basing the 2022 and 2023 car around zero side pods. This led to a compromised design, and even after they switched to regular side pods at the Monaco Grand Prix in 2023, they were still struggling. And in today's video, we are going to be previewing the Mercedes team for 2024. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. Now, let's get into the video. As I mentioned, Mercedes are going in a completely different direction for 2024, and this is a direction that will likely align themselves closer to what McLaren already did last year. Mercedes opted to stick with no side pods at the beginning of last season, due to how well they ended the 2022 season. However, this, along with an awkward driver position, left both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell a little bit out at sea, and the Mercedes from 2014 to 2020 was starting to feel like nothing more than a distant memory. Gone are those domination days. With their 2023 car, we saw what was really a compromise solution. When they reintroduced conventional side pods at the Monaco Grand Prix, we did see an overall increase in performance and pace. However, the Mercedes was typically struggling with drag. According to Toto Wolff, they really struggle to do anything about this due to the cost cap rules that F1 now runs under. And you can see how draggy their car was when you take a look at the top speeds from qualifying. In this graph, I have the top speed from Verstappen in qualifying, and I am comparing it to the top Mercedes driver from each race. In this, we can see that in general, the Mercedes car really struggled for top speed. Now, we know that in race trim that the Red Bull was very fast in a straight line, but they were not always the fastest car in a straight line. Typically towards the end of the year, we saw that Ferrari was able to get there and be just about as much of a match for Red Bull, and sometimes better than the Red Bull. However, Mercedes really struggled to get onto their level. In 2024, with a new chassis, Mercedes will be looking to gain some free lap time by making their car less draggy in a straight line. This free lap time will help them at circuits such as Baku, Spa, Monza, Mexico, Las Vegas, and Interlagos, just to name a few, as these circuits all feature very long straights. The draggy car meant that the team were really hampered in qualifying, and you can see that here when you look at the qualifying position of each Mercedes driver from each weekend. On 8 occasions in 2023, a Mercedes driver failed to reach Q3. Coincidentally, it was both 4 times for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Lewis suffered more towards the end of the season compared to George Russell, and the Mercedes struggles in qualifying were not really the same in the race, because even though they struggled in qualifying, they were able to recover in the Grand Prix. Typically during the race, we would see Mercedes manage to make their way through the field and fight towards the front as the race went on. Their race pace was typically much stronger than their qualifying pace. And we saw plenty of times that in general, Mercedes were very kind on their tyres. During a few multi-stop races in 2023, we saw that Mercedes was able to go a little bit longer than their rivals when it came to stints, especially with George Russell, showing just how well they were able to manage their pace. I think it will be very interesting to see that if with a new car, they will be able to maintain their ability to look after the tyres. It is very possible that one of the reasons why they struggled in qualifying was because they were so kind on their tyres, and this meant that they were not able to fire the tyres up for one lap, so they weren't able to extract everything in one lap, which would explain why they struggled in qualifying but were better in the races. I just want to say that if you are enjoying the video, then I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. I'm on my way to 5k subs, and I would really appreciate it if you help me get there. Now, let's get back to the video. For Mercedes then, 2024 will be a critical season. They are going in a new direction and down a new route, and if they do get it wrong, then it will be fairly safe to say that 2025 will likely be a write-off as well, and they will need to start focusing on development for the 2026 regulation changes. However, with star driver Lewis Hamilton getting older and older, then his time in F1 could be becoming more limited. If Mercedes are not there in 2024, and it doesn't look like that they will get there, then will Lewis Hamilton stick it out beyond 2025? I personally think that he will do, but he absolutely will want to be back to winning ways this season. Hamilton won at least one race from every single season of his career from 2007 all the way to 2021. But in 2022 and 2023, he failed to reach the top step of the podium. Toto Wolff himself has said that Mercedes need a better car to give Hamilton the equipment required for him to perform at his best. For Lewis Hamilton, speaking of him, even though he didn't win any races in 2023, the season was overall a pretty strong year. He managed to be best of the rest behind the two Red Bull drivers, and he was able to score himself 6 podiums, and he also took a pole position at the Hungarian Grand Prix. His season really started to come alive when Mercedes reintroduced more conventional sidepods to their car at the Monaco Grand Prix. In that race, he finished in 4th place and then secured 3 podiums at the next 4 races. After this though, he did start to struggle a little bit as he became more anonymous, and the reason for this is because of what I was talking about earlier, which was the dragging Mercedes. The drag levels really did start to hurt them, with the following circuits being Spa, Monza, Suzuka, Sao Paulo and Las Vegas. Due to the levels of drag that the Mercedes had, it was no match for the Ferrari, which found itself to be very efficient in a straight line. Unfortunately for Hamilton, the back end of the year was not as strong when compared to the middle portion of the year. He had a few fairly terrible weekends towards the end of the season. In qualifying, he was eliminated in Q2 at Las Vegas and also at Abu Dhabi. And the last 3 races he finished in 8th place, 7th and 9th. Hopefully this was not a sign of things to come for 2024 for him, and it was more that he had checked out mentally in 2023. For his teammate George Russell, his 2023 campaign was not quite as strong as his debut season for Mercedes in 2022. In fact, he was quite a lot worse in 2023 versus his debut season for Mercedes. There was a number of silly errors that crept in, such as at Montreal when he put the car in the wall during the Grand Prix. He scored 59 less points than teammate Lewis Hamilton and only scored 2 podiums all year long. These 2 podiums were at Barcelona and also at the final race in Abu Dhabi. He also came to blows with his teammate at a couple of races, and there is definitely tension brewing between these 2 drivers. Neither driver, it seems, wants to play second fiddle, and when they are together on track, fireworks do tend to follow. If Mercedes actually have a better car in 2024, and a car that can challenge for wins at least semi-regularly, then the tension between Hamilton and Russell could boil over, and we could see them get involved in unnecessary incidents as both men want to assert their dominance over the other driver. Overall, for Mercedes, they are going to be the hardest team of the top 4 to judge going into this season. It seems like they are going to make the biggest changes of any of the top 4 teams, and this comes with plenty of risk. If they get it right, then we could see them back in the fight. However, if they get it wrong again, then it will be very difficult to see them winning at all in 2024 and also 2025. The dynamic between Lewis Hamilton and George Russell is becoming a spicy one. There was the incident in qualifying at Barcelona, and then again during the Grand Prix in Suzuka, before finally there was a race-ending incident for Lewis Hamilton in Qatar, and this was without them being contenders for race wins. If they are in a position to fight for a win and they are together on track, I'm not quite sure how they will be able to keep things safe. If Mercedes do get their car right, then I believe that we will see them win a couple of races at the very least. But that is what I think. The question is though, what do you guys think? Do you think that we will see Mercedes back on the top step in 2024? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching.